What happens when the atmosphere completely snaps? Imagine a vortex of air spinning so fast that it moves at more than half the speed of a commercial jetliner. Picture a column of raw atmospheric fury so massive that it defies the fundamental laws of meteorology, shifting direction like a living creature, expanding in seconds, and erasing everything in its path. Most people think a violent tornado is simply a larger version of a standard funnel cloud, but the worst tornadoes ever recorded on our planet aren't just extreme weather events. They are localized apocalyptic anomalies. We're talking about atmospheric monsters that literally scoured the earth down to bare bedrock, tore up asphalt roads, completely defied radar measurements, and tragically altered the scientific community forever. This is Michael's Rift, where we uncover the raw, untold stories of worldwide tragedies and extreme natural disasters. If you want to explore the deepest rifts of human history, hit that subscribe button now for more weekly documentaries. We begin our countdown on May 3rd, 1999, in Oklahoma's infamous Tornado Alley. The weather conditions that afternoon were remarkably volatile. The atmosphere was heavily charged, filled with instability, convective energy, and intense wind shear. This specific outbreak was driven by a powerful upper-level trough moving through the southern plains, colliding violently with a deep layer of warm, moist air pushed up from the Gulf of Mexico. By late afternoon, a supercell thunderstorm formed rapidly, birthing what would become known globally as the Bridge Creek-Moore tornado. This storm was actually the 9th tornado generated by this particular supercell on a day that would ultimately unleash over 70 separate twisters across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. As this monster tracked directly toward populated urban areas, a mobile Doppler radar team, known as Doppler on Wheels, positioned themselves critically close to the path. They aimed their high-tech radar instruments directly into the swirling vortex to capture raw data. What their screens displayed led them to believe their equipment was malfunctioning. The instruments recorded an unbelievable peak wind speed of 321 miles per hour inside of the funnel. This historic measurement was taken at approximately 7:12 p.m. near Bridge Creek at an elevation of about 100 feet above the ground surface. To put that into perspective, that is more than double the threshold needed to classify a storm as a Category 5 hurricane. Debris caught inside the tornado was orbiting at speeds that could easily match those of a modern aircraft. For decades, scientists debated whether a tornado could actually cross the 300-mile-per-hour barrier. The Bridge Creek-Moore tornado didn't just cross it, it shattered it. But the sheer speed of the wind wasn't the only terrifying part. When damage survey teams assessed the aftermath, they found that homes weren't just structurally compromised, they were completely erased from existence. Entire suburban neighborhoods were reduced to bare, swept, concrete slabs, with debris atomized and carried miles into neighboring counties. Vehicles were thrown over several blocks, and the ground itself was scoured, with several inches of topsoil completely stripped away along the center of the damaged path. This extreme destruction left a tragic human toll in its wake, directly causing 36 fatalities and injuring 583 people along its 38-mile path. 12 of those deaths occurred in Bridge Creek alone, predominantly within mobile home communities, while the remaining casualties took place as the funnel tore through Newcastle, southern Oklahoma City, Moore, Del City, and Midwest City. The Bridge Creek-Moore event redefined structural engineering and modern meteorological tracking, showing that nature can create forces that mimic a bomb blast. It led directly to advancements in the design of residential safe rooms and prompted a massive overhaul in how emergency managers issue real-time public warnings. This storm proved that under the right atmospheric conditions, the sky can unleash a weapon of ground-level destruction capable of vaporizing brick homes down to the plumbing. The data collected from this storm laid the groundwork for how we measure tornadic wind speeds today. When people think of catastrophic tornadoes, they almost always picture Oklahoma, Kansas, or Texas. But for our second tornado, we travel to South Asia. On April 26, 1989, the Dalatpur Saturya tornado touched down in Bangladesh, quickly becoming the deadliest, most destructive single tornado in history. Unlike the United States, which has a network of radar, storm chasers, and sirens, Bangladesh in 1989 had little warning infrastructures or sturdy storm shelters. The geographical layout of the country makes it a natural funnel for violent weather, as hot air from the Bay of Bengal frequently slams directly into cold mountain air blowing off the Himalayas. The region was suffering a severe drought, which created a nasty mix of heat and high humidity. An incredibly violent tornado dropped from the sky and tore through the Manakaj district. Because it was densely populated with poorly built bamboo, wood, and tin homes, the results were instantly catastrophic. The tornado completely leveled two towns, Dalatpur and Saturya, erasing them from the map in minutes. The destructive path cut a swath roughly 1 mile wide and stretched across 50 miles of rural countryside, completely obliterating every single structure it crossed. Official estimates suggest that this violent twister killed about 1,300 people and injured over 12,000. Trees were stripped of their branches and bark, iron beams twisted, and over 80,000 residents were left homeless in an instant. The disaster caused by this storm was unprecedented. Entire families disappeared, and with no underground shelters, the population had no place to run. Rebuilding in the aftermath was an excruciating uphill battle, as international aid groups and the Bangladeshi government rushed to supply tents, medical care, and clean water to prevent widespread disease outbreaks. Because the poverty-stricken region lacked the financial resources for modern infrastructure, the thousands of survivors had no choice but to slowly reconstruct their communities using the same fragile bamboo and messed up iron sheets that the storm had just destroyed. While it lacked high-tech tracking or video documentation, the Dilatpur Satoria tornado serves as a stark reminder of how devastating a violent vortex can be in a populated area with no shelter. It remains a crucial reference for meteorologists studying global weather patterns, showing how geographical vulnerabilities can worsen the danger of severe storms. Finally, we reach our #1 tornado ever documented, the May 31st, 2013 El Reno, Oklahoma tornado. The storm is often considered a mythical, terrifying event among weather enthusiasts. It rewrote expectations of tornado behavior. The day began with meteorologists predicting a major severe weather event, but nobody anticipated the sheer physical scale of what would form over the open fields of West Oklahoma City. Most tornadoes look like classic cones or distinct stovepipes, but the El Reno tornado didn't fit that description at all. To observers on the ground, it appeared as a massive wall of rain, fog, and rotating cloud that rapidly expanded to a record-breaking 2.6 miles wide. This immense width meant that anyone within miles of the storm was effectively inside its path without realizing it. It was so large that its path could even be seen from space. If you were on the ground, you wouldn't realize that you were looking at a tornado. It felt as if the entire sky had dropped to the earth. Inside this 2.6 mile wide beast, the internal physics were even crazier. It was a multiple vortex tornado, containing smaller, intense mini-tornadoes spinning wildly around the main center. These sub-vortices were flying around the main core at speeds exceeding 175 miles per hour, creating localized pockets of total annihilation. Advanced mobile radar teams recorded mind-boggling peak wind speeds within these sub-vortices of up to 336 miles per hour. This makes it a strong candidate for the highest wind speed ever measured on Earth. The El Reno tornado was also unpredictable, suddenly changing direction by 90 degrees and accelerating from a crawl to over 55 miles per hour in seconds. The sudden lurch to the northeast caught the storm-chasing community by surprise, as the storm shifted from a predictable path to a rapid pursuit of the vehicles trailing it. Because it was enveloped in thick rain and constantly expanding, it caught many veteran storm chasers off guard. It behaved outside the parameters of normal storm tracking models, creating a trap for anyone trying to document it. Tragically, it claimed the lives of 4 storm chasers, including respected researcher Tim Samaras. This storm changed scientific safety protocols, showing that some atmospheric monsters are simply too big, erratic, and powerful to chase. From the raw 321-mile-per-hour winds of Bridge Creek to the immense tragedy in Bangladesh and the mind-bending 2.6-mile width of El Reno, these tornadoes show that our atmosphere can unleash incredible power. They serve as humbling reminders that our technology is still humbled by the raw energy of a supercell. They remind us that the planet's weather routines are linked networks of energy, capable of breaking records when we least expect it. Which of these tornadoes do you find most terrifying? Is it the raw speed of Bridge Creek, the tragedy of Bangladesh, or the sheer size of El Reno? As always, this has been Michael with Michael's Rift. Let me know in the comments section which one of these tornadoes had you shivering the most. If you love listening to natural disasters, worldwide tragic events, or just social experiments that have gone wrong, subscribe now for more weekly documentaries.